Hey you guys, it's Holistic Healing with Tella. You see I got my press on nails is still pressed on. Over 24 hours too. They must have been like, we gotta step our game up because people been talking crazy. And I got my locks out and about. Nothing too crazy. We're gonna be doing the solar Plexus Chakra. So this is chakra number 3. The most important thing about the solar Plexus Chakra is that it's our personal power, right? So it's literally our stomach. Your second brain is your stomach, right? There's multiple reasons for it, but one of the reasons is we have a nerve called the polyvagal nerve that goes from our brain to our stomach, right? So sometimes if we can't hear our intuition, we can definitely feel it. It's in the center of our stomach. On a spiritual level, it's connected to our personality, our self-esteem, our ego, our identity, really the way that we see ourselves, the way that we carry ourselves, the way we want others to see us, right? Which honestly should be the same thing, but a lot of times the way that we see ourselves and the way other people see ourselves sometimes can be not always, what's the word I want to say? Connected. It's not always on the same link. This is also a big part of our confidence, right? So we'll get to the physical imbalances, but there is a lot of stomach issues that come with this, right? Because this is our gut. When we get our gut instincts, we want to be confident in that, right? That I can trust myself. Like I'm somebody I know I can trust, which is the goal, but sometimes it's not always the reality for all of us. And so getting to a place where I can really trust myself and have confidence in myself. Some of the issues that you'll run into for the spiritual imbalances for our solar Plexus Chakra is being irresponsible. Now I want us to look at this two different ways. Because on one hand, we know what irresponsible means, right? You are not following through, right? You're making goals and plans that you're not completing, right? But there's another part of this, right? Because sometimes we think about irresponsibility as somebody who is not doing what they said they were going to do, right? And that is irresponsibility. The other part of responsibility or being irresponsible is for those of us who take on way more than we were supposed to. Right? If you've seen the heart chakra, you would know what I mean by that. You may be the overgiver. You really only have the capacity for 5 things, but for some reason, there's 8 things on your plate. And I'm being modest with the numbers, right? Because it's definitely more than 8. That could be irresponsible to us, right? Because if I only have space for 5 things and I make 8, now I'm depleted, right? And now that cuts into me, that cuts into my energy. You know, just like we have a certain amount of energy, my power is strong when it is intact. But when I start spreading that, my power can dwindle, right? All of a sudden, this strong power, this confidence, this great outlook on myself, my high self-esteem, when I get to having too much on my plate, now I stop seeing myself that way. Right? Because I done forgot about this over here, or oh, I missed this over here, I was late to this over here. I'm stretching myself too thin. And now I feel less powerful. Now I feel like maybe I'm not that good. Maybe I'm not that good of a person. But you are. But you are irresponsible in the essence of putting more on yourself than you actually deserve. This is no shade, this is no judgment, because we all do it. It's important that you train yourself to be able to see that you don't have to put more on your plate, and by doing so, you're going to be irresponsible to your power, to the things that you're called to do, right? Like, so I'll give you an example. If I'm like, oh, I want to record my videos tonight, and I do this all the time, which is funny. I'm saying an example, but anyways, if I'm like, I'm about to record this video, I'm about to do this, record this content, I need to read this book, so on and so forth, and then somebody say, hey, let's go out to eat. Another person say, hey, take me to the store. Oh, I gotta pick up my son, right? For I know I done tack all these things on, And none of these things are bad, but I already made commitments to myself. And so by saying, oh no, I'm fine, I'll get it all done. Because I really only had energy for the 3 things that I had listed before. And now I added a whole list of other things. That's irresponsible. And a lot of us operate in that way. The next one is excessive need for control. Which it was funny because as this is one of my favorite chakras, but this was also one of the most difficult ones for me because one might say, not everybody, but one might say that I had a little bit of a control problem, maybe, not too much, a little bit, that I wanted everything a certain kind of way. If I can find the clip, I'll add it in. But there's this episode of So I Love American Dad. Let's just go ahead and get that out. And so there's this episode where Stan was angry at his wife, his kids, his people at his job was making mad, so on and so forth. Everybody was just pissing him off, right? And he said, I just want everybody to do what I want them to do. And so his therapist gave him an idea to help him to be in control of what he had control over. So he had him create like this. So he gave him like an action figure set, like, you know, with the little houses and dolls and stuff. And so he loved it so much that he shrunk himself down so he could live in that area because he was in control over what everybody did. And I had to recognize that, like, I've done that. And things didn't go the way I wanted to or the way I thought they would. It would make me to shut down and make me pull back. And it would make me stop trying because I was like, well, I tried, but it didn't work. But it's like, it's not that it didn't work, but it didn't work the way you thought it would. And even in the essence of perfectionism, right? That we want to have quality work and we want to be the best at what we do. But if I tell myself, oh, you messed up, you made a mistake, you didn't get enough tickets, you didn't sell enough, you didn't have a whole bunch of views and so on and so forth. If I tell myself that that's the goal, I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even be here because this is part of the process. The views will come, the abundance will come once I let go of trying to be in control of when it shows up. Focus on the output, not the outcome. We have to learn that things are going to be out of our control. When we control situations, they only can go as high as our understanding, right? That's what Yellow Van Zandt says, that we can only go as high as our understanding, right? So if my understanding says, this is how much money I can make, this is the type of life that I want, this is the type of spouse I want, this is all the things that I desire, right? But then there's this other part of me like, but I feel like there's something bigger. I feel like there's something bigger. But my understanding says, well, no, this is it, right? I don't know what you think about, but this is it, right? This is your threshold. This is what you're living up to, because that's my understanding. And if it's in my control, I'm only going right here. And that's even if I make it right there. It might just be right here. When we take ourselves out of that control and allow spirit to guide us, there is we have unlimited access to anything that is within that gift, that dream, our personal power. We have no idea where our personal power can take us. And we won't know if we're trying to go based off our own personal control. The next one is insecurity, right? Is that a lot of us feel insecure when we can't have control of a situation. A lot of times we feel out of control. We're focusing more on what is out of our control than what is in our control. Because when I focus on what is in my control and I take care of those things, the insecurity has no room to stand on. Because what I'm insecure about, I've already started to work through control. Because when I focus on what is in my control and I take care of those things, the insecurity has no room to stand on. Because what I'm insecure about, I've already started to work through. Okay, another example is, I want to change my diet, right? Now I can focus on what's out of my control. Like, why would these stores put the rice cakes right next to the real cakes, which is crazy, or the real cookies? I'm be mad at the store? No. I'm gonna do what's in my control, which is just closing my eyes and just feeling for the rice cakes. You know what I'm saying? Not focusing. I don't gotta look at the cakes. I get to do what's in. I'm doing a sugar fast, and I'm just overwhelmed, and so I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't like the way I look. I change it. Easier said than done. Helping ourselves come into balance with this chakra is to allow yourself to be more confident and have more trust in yourself by not focusing on more what other people are doing, but focusing on what is in your control, what you can actually put your hands on. And even to some degree, your kids ain't even in your control all the way, because that's still a whole different person. The next one is victim mentality. This is hard because we don't ever want to negate the abuse that we went through. We never want to negate the trauma that we went through. We never want to throw those things under the rug. It happened to you, but it's not who you are. It's like, instead of I made a mistake, it's I am the mistake. It's a mindset, because I have coupled myself with the negative things that have happened to me. Where does that leave me? Where does that leave the good traits about me, the positive things about me, the beautiful things about me? It leaves no room for those things. I experienced failure. That does not mean I am a failure, right? We gotta be able to separate ourselves from the things that we went through, right? What they be saying in church, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through, right? I mean, you still gotta work through it, but you're not what you went through. They're part of your story. They're in your story, but you can rise above everything that you've experienced. The last two are helplessness and authenticity. Helplessness is a lack of faith. I don't know a better way to put it. We are lacking faith. Even if you don't have the support in your family or friends or community, you got direct access to people to spirits who don't have no physical constraints. We war against not flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities. There are energies around you that can support you, whether it's your ancestors, whether it's your higher self, whether it's people who you've called into your spiritual family, it's God himself. The goal is to be able to rely on that help and allow people to help you, because a lot of us that consider ourselves helpless haven't tapped into every resource because of pride, because of fear, because of rejection, because of failure. That I can't experience somebody else letting me down. I'm so focused on what is outside of my control that I haven't went inward to figure out what is in my control. And that also brings the inauthenticity. The person who I show out here and the person I'm in here has to come into alignment with each other, right? That's when we bring the spiritual to the physical. And it's important that we don't try to portray one person over here and hide our true authentic self with just ourselves. We weren't called to be by ourselves. We was called to share our gifts with the world, whoever God has connected you to, or you're supposed to be connected to. Like, this has become one of my favorite chakras because I've really been taking over my power, really in this process of taking my power back. I'm on here with short locks. You'd have told me I was doing this a couple years ago, baby, no. Thought y'all got me on YouTube looking crazy, right? And I love the way I look. But a couple years ago, oh no. But this is part of me taking back my personal power. I don't have to show up as somebody who I'm not, because that would be inauthentic to myself. And I get cute, you know what I'm saying? I put a wig on or two, but I don't have to show up that way. I choose to. Because I'm coming into connection with myself, that what I choose to do is my choice, because I'm that powerful to be able to make that choice. So the physical imbalances connect to our stomach, our gut. This is our digestive system, right? So you could imagine with all this trauma or all this kind of spiritual buildup, you could imagine what could happen to our digestive system, to our emotional brain. That could be making us eat and digest to fill the hole, right? Just an example. If I'm sad, I'm eating a lot of unhealthy foods to feed that. If I'm anxious, I may not be eating at all, which is also messing up my digestive system. Some of the issues could be stomach pain, heartburn, nausea, loss of appetite, acid reflux, eating disorders, diabetes, issues with the pancreas and colon. You know, it's funny too, I got a colonic. I always have to make sure I'm calling it the right name, because I've been calling it all types of C names that are not colonic, right? So I got a colonic last year, and one of the things I learned about the colon is that the colon is connected to every part of our body. And what that means is, if this is not getting the right nutrients, it's not getting to the right places. Wondering why my hair not growing? You're not eating good. Wondering why my skin's not clearing? You're not eating good. Wondering why I'm having issues with my teeth? You're not eating good. Yes, there's emotional imbalances and spiritual imbalances, but the place that's supposed to be bringing me my nutrients is not getting what it needs. So we have to be in the flow with our body. So balancing it out. How do we balance out our solar plexus chakra? Don't even worry about it, Bookie. I'm going to tell you. The affirmation is I can. I can. I know I can, right? I can do everything and anything I put my mind to. I know I can do anything and everything I put my mind to. Because that affirms our power that, oh, no. We about to get this done. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it, because we're going to get it done. Because my personal power is in my control. My bad, y'all. My storage be stored up, so I had to restart it. But anyways, the element for the solar plexus chakra is fire. Whether that is your lighting candles, burning incense, burning sage, Palo Santos. Another thing I do with my clients is we'll write, like on one side where we're welcoming in, and on the other side we write where we're letting go, and then we light it, just kind of like giving it off to the universe. And so that's a nice one. If you could do it safely, that would be great. Please do not burn your house down doing this activity, right? So safely, you can do that. That's a nice way to release that energy. Color is yellow, of course. Some deep breathing and meditation. I'm gonna tell you that all the time. Please do it, right? It's just a way for us to come in to ourselves. The spiritual ways to balance out the chakra is releasing control, right? That you can't have control over anybody else's life except yours, not even your kid. Let's say my kid was acting out. His behavior is not in my control. Right now, I can think it is. As a black mama, I like to think that it is, right? Because if you come here, if I hear that you acting crazy, I'm going to start acting crazy, right? But in our reality, his actions are out of my control. And I think that we don't usually realize that until they're adults. But his actions are out of my control. But what is in my control is that I can be able to sit with him and listen to him. I can be able to give him the do's and don'ts of how this situation is going to go. I can be able to, I can have real conversations with him about what his behavior is doing or how it's impacting him and everybody else. That there are things inside of my control, right? Because even when I show up to the school, the damage has already been done. That part is out of my control. But what's in my control is creating a situation where it doesn't have to happen again. Another example is you're working. Your boss be treating you in ways that you don't like. That's out of your control. You can't control how somebody else acts, but you can control how they are going to show up in your life. So what's in your control is that you speak up for yourself. You communicate. You say, nah, this thing that you're doing, it's not gonna work for me. And if you can't figure it out, then I'm gonna have to figure out who can help me, because the way that you operate is out of my control. But when you show up in my life, the people who show up in my presence have to respect me and have to communicate with me in a certain type of way. As somebody who's a very controlling person, it feels so good to release control and know that I don't have to be the person who does it all. What's that one quote? If you want something done right, do it yourself. Baby, I done got a few things done well with myself, but baby, I've gotten way more done with other people, right? The right people. Last one is full authenticity in your relationships and with yourself. So like we said before, it's just really coming into self, that the person that I show to other people should not be separate from this person, right? That I show up as my full self everywhere I go. That this is not a secret. This is not something I keep in hiding. Now, when we are getting to a place of decision, we may have moments of seclusion. We may have moments where coming in when we have to get used to these skills and train these skills, but we don't keep them dormant for years. But eventually we need to start showing people who we are, showing people our gifts and talents, because that helps us also feel powerful. People get to see all of the greatness that we have inside of us. We don't gotta stop living in the greatness all by ourselves, because that is not sharing, and sharing is caring. That's it. That's all. This is Holistic Healing with Tella. So tell a friend to tell a friend, right? And come check me out, Rookie. Next chakra will be our sacral chakra. Right? So make sure you tune in for that. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel, right? And tell your aunties too that they can subscribe too. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold this for yourself either. Okay? It's important. You don't gotta gatekeep me, baby. Go ahead and tell somebody else. That person that's next to you. Go ahead and hey, check this out. You feel me? Cool.